Artists, stop paying promoters and venues to open for shows. And promoters, there's four other ways you could pay artists to open for shows, right? So this video is for my promoters and my artists on how to build a better relationship for both parties and make sure that everybody
Live the life you love.
All right, everyone. So I posted a video recently that artists should not be paying venues or promoters to open for shows, right? And I feel very adamant about that. And what's my background? Who the hell am I talking about this? Well, I have booked, produced, and promoted over 3,000 shows now for companies such as Live Nation, AEG Presents. I've worked for venues such as the Dr. Phillips Center in Orlando, Florida, the Plaza Live, House of Blues in New Orleans, right? And many others. I've booked shows for independent artists. So I've been on in that boat, right? I know what it is like for artists to get ripped off, and I know that promoters have other ways they could pay artists. So let's take a look. Let's talk about that, right? So again, this is not about artists buying onto tours, right? Buying onto tours is a completely separate issue. That might be maybe a different video that I can create. But this is a completely separate scenario, right? It's literally there's a show in town that a promoter's putting on, and a local artist wants to open up for that show, and the promoter or venue says you have to pay me, right? You have to pay me a fee to open up for the show. And first of all, in a lot of agency contracts, that is actually not allowed, right? The agencies will a lot of times actually not allow promoters to sell opening slots. Like that money should technically be going to the headliner, right? And but local artists don't know that, so what they're going to do, they're just going to pay anyway, right? And they 99% of the time, 99% of the times don't know who the agent is, right? So they're just going to do it anyway, and they want the opportunity. And if you're doing it for the opportunity, sure, but be set up right. Like have merch to sell, like be able to collect emails, right? There is a better way. And the big thing I have against this too, it's imagine your job, right? Whatever your current job is, and your job came to you and said, you know what, Chris, like starting this week, like every Friday, you have to pay us to come to work. Like we're not going to pay you. We'll pay you Monday through Thursday, but on Fridays you have to pay us to come to work. Who the hell would do that, right? I mean, artists, this is what you're trying to do for a living, right? This is your job. Like, you don't pay to do your work. You get paid to do your work, right? So, and I get the part why promoters may not want to pay artists, right? Promoters, when they guarantee local artists a guarantee, if they pay them a guarantee, then a lot of times local artists don't pay or don't promote, right? And it's either because they don't care, they get busy, they forget, right? It's convenient, right? Because they have a guarantee. So promoters don't want to give them a guarantee, and artists shouldn't pay. So what else do we do, right? There's other ways. And one other thing I'll add too, right? The genres this happens in the most, and it's very, very unfortunate, is hip hop, is EDM, and it's Latin music, right? Those are the genres where there's high possibility of promoters charging artists. And the issue I have with that, and it's very, very hard. I'm not pulling this card. It's very hard for me to pull the race card, right? But just take a look at what the hell you're doing, promoters. Like you're whether you're doing it consciously or not, you are taking advantage of minorities, right? You are taking, and because most of the artists in those genres, hip hop, EDM, and Latin, are minorities, right? And you're literally preying on them. You're literally taking advantage of them, and it's fucked up, right? So stop. Like, there's other ways, like to build partnerships, and you should be in this for the long game, right? You're not in this to make a short term buck. Like, if you really want to be a promoter and you want to do this full time, then stop focusing on making 250 bucks, 500 bucks a show, right? And if you want to do this full time, the goal probably isn't to do 5 to 10 shows a year. The goal probably is to do 100, 200, 300 shows a year, right? Or shows that are highly profitable. And if you're so short-sighted that you're worried about making a couple of $100, you're missing the picture, right? You're missing the long-term picture. So I have a spreadsheet ready to do a quick little math breakdown. So let's take a look at this real quick, right? So let's say you have a local show. It's happening on September 18th. It's just a random date I picked. And let's say you're selling 400 tickets, right? Your tickets are at $20, and you say at the door it's $25, right? And this is the maximum potential sellable tickets right here, right? Or right here, the capacities. And most of the times when promoters do this, it's because of they're promoting shows that they don't feel confident in, right? Maybe they're doing an agent a favor, maybe they're, I don't know, maybe they have been trying to book shows and they haven't been able to get a show on the books yet, and they finally were able to book a show to start getting their career going as a promoter. There's many reasons why they may want to charge our local artists for shows, right? But usually it's a show they don't feel confident in, right? Because if this was a guaranteed sold out show, they would just give their buddies the opening slots, right? They're just going to give the people that they like the most the opening slots. They're not going to prey on some artists, that younger, newer artists, to pay for those slots, right? So keep that in mind too. A lot of times they're doing it because they don't feel confident in the sales of the show. So let's say it's a show, right? We're predicting only 150 sold in advance and maybe 50 at the door, and that's pretty ambitious um, for a show that you don't feel very confident in, right? So the forecast is 200 tickets. Available will be 300, as 300 unsold tickets, and the gross on that will be 4,250, right? So just in general, right? Let's say these are your expenses. Your marketing's 500, security 500, box office 200, cleanup 150, rent 750, support 250, catering 250, right? You have $1 facility fee. Say there's a 7% tax. So your show expense, so you back out of the 4,250, you back out the facility fee, you back out of tax, you have your net, then you take out your show expenses and you're down to $1,100, right? Let's say you pay an artist a $2,000 guarantee and you're out. You're out $814, right? So how do you make up that money? You find two local acts, you charge them $500 each, and boom, you make $200 on the show, right? And now you basically fucked over two local artists to make $200 or $185, right? So again, that's very, very short-sighted, right? It's, again, play the long-term game. Like, these local artists can be your biggest asset. Like, it's a two-way relationship. It's not just you build it's not just the local artist trying to build a good relationship with you. You're trying to build a good relationship with them, right? Because you never know where they're going to end up. Like, they might be that next national act that you want to be on the good side of, especially if it's a local artist that is going to work hard and is going to promote hard, right? So think of the long-term picture and just think of your reputation also within the community, right? 'Cause if agents are fighting it out, not some probably don't care, but definitely all the good reputable agents, and hopefully they'll back me up on this if anyone sees this. They're gonna tell you it's fucked up too, right? Because they're gonna want their artists to be paid as well. If their artists are opening for a show, they're gonna want them to be paid. And a lot of times when so the process of an opener, the way the process should work, right? If you have a national act and you want a local to open, the way that process should work, the promoter submits the local to the agent, right? They submit a link to their music to the agent, maybe even a website. The agent either has the ability to make that decision right there and say yes, that artist can open, or let me get this approved, and they'll get it approved by the management or the artist themselves, right? Whatever the approval chain is for local support. And once they're approved by the agent tells you, okay, it's approved that you add this act on the show. By the way, what are you going to pay them? Is what they're going to ask you, right? So what are you going to tell them if you're charging them? Are you going to tell them you're charging them? You're probably not telling them that right? Because the agent's going to probably say, well, I want to cut of that for my artist, right? Because it's technically a revenue stream or it's ticket sales, right? So most agents are going to frown upon that as well. So here's 4 ways you can pay artists or treat this whole scenario differently, right? So this first one, it's actually a video, a comment I got in the initial YouTube short that I did, is a lot of times in rock music, like the bands do have to sell tickets, right? They sell tickets for the show, so they'll get 50 tickets, 25 tickets, and they have to go sell them to open for the show. But it's never most of the times it's never a you have to sell X amount, right? Or you can't play. It's they usually just ask, hey, you have to sell 50 tickets. Bands end up buying the tickets, they don't sell them, right? But anyways, let's break this down for a second. So what they could do is, yes, make the locals sell tickets, right? Whether it's physical or digital tickets, but pay them a commission, right? So a commission breakdown, but you could have a tiered system. So you can pay them $1 to $3 a ticket. So you could say, if you sell 0 to 25 tickets, you get $1 a ticket. If you sell 26 to 50 tickets, you get $2 a ticket. If you sell 51 plus tickets, you get $3 a ticket, right? And then if you incentivize the local like that, you'll even make more money, right? You'll actually might even sell more tickets than you've originally anticipated because you're incentivizing them. Another structure, the second structure you could use, you pay them a small guarantee plus a bonus, right? So you give them a $50 to $75 guarantee, and then again, you pay them a commission based on the tickets sold, right? So maybe now the commission is a little bit less because you giving them the upfront guarantee, but maybe maybe you do give them a $50 to $75 guarantee, and you say we have to sell at least 25 tickets, right? Um, and if you sell over 25 tickets, then we'll give you an extra $2 per ticket or whatever it is. So that's strategy 2. Strategy 3 is let me see which one does this. I believe this one I use a lot. This is one I use a lot because I a lot of times get artists that, let's be real, not everyone is someone like that's a hustler that's out every night, can sell tickets, physical tickets in person, or is into blasting people on social media to sell tickets. But they do have a really good following, right? They do get really good turnouts for their shows. It's just they don't do it hand to hand. People just kind of come because they're playing, right? So you want them to promote for you, right? So what you could do for that, you give them a small guarantee, 50 to $100, and then you incentivize them based on the overall turnout, right? Again, this is the method I use a lot. So you could say if the show does 80% business, right? So let's say you have 400 tickets and you sell 80% of the tickets, then and then you give them a bonus at 80%, right? And then if you do 90%, then give them another bonus, right? And then you can do another bonus at 100%, right? So you have a bonus at 80, 90, and 100% for the local artist. And that's another thing you can do as well, right? And then the fourth method is hire the artist to do your marketing, right? A lot of times when you have artists that are really, really good at marketing, just not really necessarily good at selling physical tickets, um, they could be your street team for you, right? They could go out and put posters. They could go and pass out flyers or whatever else. Do your virtual street team, right? So pay them 100, 150 bucks to do your marketing, right? So out of your $500 marketing budget in this example I had, paid them 150. They're your street team now. They're going to go do this promotion. They'll give you backup that they put up posters and pass out flyers. Now they get paid. They're doing your marketing. They know how to reach the audience because they're always at shows. They're always doing things, right? Good artists are always at shows, right? Some artists, remember this. Doesn't matter what the genre is. If you want the community, your audience to love you, your local rock community, your local hip hop community, if you want your community to love you, you got to love your community, right? You got to be out at shows. You got to be active. So again, yes, promoters want artists that work hard. Promoters are trying to make money, and artists need to work hard too, right? Yeah, I guess I kind of said that twice, but anyways, artists need to work hard, right? If you want promoters to give you better deals, if you want promoters to support you, you got to work for it too, though. You got to work hard. At the end of the day, it's your business, and if you consistently have people showing up to your shows and you're selling merch and you're collecting emails and text phone numbers for texting campaigns, then it's going to really help grow your business as well, right? So become the best marketer you can. So you can work with a promoter that pays you to do their marketing, and then they'll pay you a commission maybe on tickets sold or a bonus based on 80%, 90%, 100% turnout, right? But again, many different ways you could pay artists. I will tell you the major promoters, Live Nation, AEG, Outback, um, they will pay artists, right? A lot of times they're just so busy with shows, they may not get into the whole selling tickets thing. It's definitely more in the independent DIY scene, but Live Nation, AG, Outback, and all the big promoters, they do not charge artists to open for shows. They will pay artists to open for shows. They'll pay them 100 to 500 bucks even for little shows. I even had a local that got paid 1,000 bucks once on a really big show, right? So let's do better. Let's do better as an industry, right? Let's stop taking advantage of our local artists. Let's empower them. Let's empower them to grow their businesses and their brands as well. So they will be better at selling tickets. So they will be better marketers. And everybody wins, right? The promoter wins because their risk is reduced and they sell more tickets. The artist wins because they're not paying to play and they actually can build an audience. So let's build a better community. Let's build a better industry. So anyways, I hope this video is helpful. Leave a comment if you have any questions. If you want to learn more and take some deep dives in marketing and all that, join the Making It Academy. Go to patreon.com/Making It Academy. Ready to have over 40, 50 videos there on all things for promoters, for artists, and all kinds of other things. But thank you all for watching. Until next time, spread love, positivity, and kindness in the world. Peace, my friends.